One, two, three.
Coming to you from the Indian Media Production Studios. It's Three Dogs and a Dude. Hey everybody, I'm Tobin Acevedo. I'm your host for Three Dogs and a Dude. Three Dogs and a Dude is a podcast that's going to bring you guests from all different walks of life and everything from entrepreneurs to small business owners, local, regional, and national business leaders, including former and current professional athletes, and much, much more. The inspiration of Three Dogs and a Dude is the three dogs that are mentioned in the title of the podcast. They are Lolo, our 6-year-old Australian cattle dog who happens to be deaf, our 3-year-old Bella, who is part Great Dane, part Great Pyrenees, and Border Collie, if you can picture that. You'll see pictures here and on our website. And then the final one is Pepper, who is part Australian cattle dog, part Australian shepherd, and I think maybe a little bit of Tasmanian devil. She's the orneriest one in the group, but she definitely has the biggest personality, even though she's the smallest of the three. They're all rescues, all come from different situations, but it became apparent very quickly that we were the ones being rescued, not the dogs. Their love, their perseverance, their loyalty, it's astonishing to see every day. And knowing where these dogs have come from, and you'll hear more about their stories as we get into some of these episodes of the podcast, hear a little bit more about the background and where they came from. But at the end of the day, when I see what they've been through, I've got it easy. Our life is great, and now they're making our life even better. And that was the inspiration for this. Some of those characteristics that they exhibit are the same attributes that I try and live by every day when I get up in the morning and try to put my best foot forward and make each day as productive as I can and try to do the right things. And that's what these dogs have shown from day one. Lolo's been with us for almost 6 years now, and Pepper and Bella have been with us for just over 2. And they're fantastic. They're a joy. You might hear them barking in the background from time to time as they like to hang out just outside the studio. And if the wind blows a leaf by or the mailman or the UPS guy comes by, they like to let me know about it. So sorry in advance if you hear any dogs barking. We'll try and control that as much as we can. But we hope to bring you inspiring stories on this podcast, business knowledge, some behind the scenes information, and really let you get to hear from our guests, learn what drives them, what motivates them, what makes them tick a little bit, let you get inside their personality a little bit and get to know them, as I think we have some fantastic guests and some amazing stories that are going to be told on this podcast over the time as we go on. So a little background about myself. I've got over 25 years now of business experience in the technology, marketing, and advertising world. And I grew up playing sports. Sports has been a huge part of my life and has really influenced me. Mostly team sports. Growing up, baseball was my first love, and some of my fondest memories, earliest memories, are going with my family to baseball games at Royal Stadium. Kansas City Royal fan. Being a Kansas native, obviously Kansas City Royal fan. George Brett was my hero growing up, one of many, but loved the Royals, hated the Yankees. They always seemed to beat my Royals in the playoffs. So you forgive me for all you Yankee fans out there. But grew up playing baseball, played some basketball, some soccer. I think every kid plays soccer at some point in their life growing up. And then once I was in high school, also picked up football and really enjoyed football and still have a love for all sports. I love watching them now as much more than participating, obviously. Now that I'm a little bit older, my activity as far as sports goes is getting out on the golf course. I love getting out on the golf course with some good friends, having a great time, and enjoying a little bit of time in nature and unplugged, disconnected from the world for just a few hours. It's a nice way to kind of reset yourself. And if you let yourself, you can meet some fantastic people on the golf course. I've met some amazing people, some of who are actually going to be guests on the show down the road, I think. So it's astonishing to me the number of people and the quality of people and the diversity of backgrounds of people that you can find on the golf course if you let yourself and you put yourself out there and are willing to be paired up with, some strangers and things like that. I've really enjoyed that over the years. It's something I try to do as much as I get the opportunity to, which is less and less, it seems like right now. But, I love golf. I'm not very good, but I love to try. So, a little more about me. I'm a Kansas native, originally from Abilene, Kansas, a little small town in north central Kansas. Shout out Abilene. You may or may not know that that's the boyhood home of former President Dwight Eisenhower. So Abilene is a great little town. Still have some family and a lot of friends up in that area in north central Kansas. Now I live and work out of the Wichita, Kansas area, and absolutely love it. I call it the biggest little city that you can find. There's a ton to do here. Fantastic people here. Great place to raise kids, and just a lot of really great, genuine people. I don't know if some of you haven't had a chance to get to the Midwest and consider those flyover states. I highly encourage you to stop in sometime somewhere in the Midwest and just see what it's all about. And I think you'll find some of the nicest people you've ever met. But I think you'll also be amazed at some of the culture and other things that are here too. So Wichita is known as the air capital of the world. We have Cessna, which is now Textron. We have Beechcraft, which is now part of Textron. We have Raytheon aircraft. We have Boeing now, which has moved out, but Spirit Aerosystems, who's a huge provider for both Boeing and Airbus, has taken the place at the Boeing manufacturing plant that's here in town. We also have an Air Force base here. So lots of aviation in Wichita, and that's why it's known as the air capital of the world. What a lot of people may not know is that Wichita also could probably be considered one of the entrepreneurial capitals of the world as well. Maybe not, the entrepreneurial capital of the world, as I know there's a lot of hotbeds out there, both around the country and around the globe, where there's a lot of entrepreneurial spirit. But Wichita's had its fair share of huge companies come out of here and founded here. And it's that entrepreneurial spirit and that small business culture that is here is phenomenal. Some of the companies that have been founded here, company may know, probably had dinner from them in the last, short period of time. Pizza Hut was founded here in Wichita, Kansas. The Coleman Company. So any of you guys that are outdoorsmen, love going camping and their outdoor equipment, Coleman was founded here in Wichita, as well as Rent-A-Center. Another one that's interesting to me is White Castle Hamburgers was actually founded here in Wichita, Kansas. Ironically, we don't have a White Castle hamburger location here in Wichita in the current day and age. So I'm not really sure what it would take to get one of those back. It'd be kind of cool. I know they did a pop-up White Castle store here just several years ago, and it had a huge crowd, huge success. So who knows? Maybe at some point White Castle comes back home. Maybe not with their headquarters, but maybe at least with a location. So in the coming episodes, some of the things we've got coming up, we've got some really cool guests lined up to talk with and let you learn more about them and what drives and motivates them. I've been blessed in my life and career and growing up to know some really cool people and make some fantastic connections, both locally and across the country and across the world. So going to tap into that and try and bring in some guests that I think might be of interest for other people to hear and talk about some current event topics, talk about real world stuff, but also, talk about them and their life, what's going on, and let you learn a little bit more about each one of those guests. So it's going to be kind of a diverse group. So everything ranging from business owners and entrepreneurs to local, regional, and maybe even some national leaders and influencers, some current and former professional athletes, some coaches that have impacted both my life and that I have some connections and relationships to over the years. So it's going to be a really broad scope of who we plan to have on here and interview and bring to you to let you learn a little bit more about them and hear what's going on and hear some of their stories. And that's really at the end of the day what it comes down to me. For those of you who don't know, I also own a production company called Indian Media Productions. It's a video production company based here in Wichita, Kansas. And in fact, we're shooting this podcast episode We're recording it and shooting it live here in the Indian Media Production studio. So, but being a small business owner, I get that money doesn't grow on trees, and you have to be smart and you have to be really shrewd with every dollar that you spend, and pick and choose your battles and where you want to allocate those resources, because they are very limited. And, at the end of the day, I've also learned that making connections and building relationships is what it's all about at the end of the day. I've talked to a lot of business owners, and everybody tries to grow their business and they're striving for that and the next sale and this, that, and the other. But time and again, I hear people tell me that some of the most rewarding parts of it are the relationships that they've made, the connections that they've made through the years with the people that they've worked with and the people that they've done business with. So that's something that we'll definitely try and bring into this as well. So I want you to make sure and subscribe to Three Dogs and a Dude so you don't miss out on any of the episodes that we have coming up. Our goal is to make this a fun listen while also bringing you some good content that hopefully makes your day a little bit better. We plan on right now releasing one episode per week. We'll see how that goes. I'd love to bump up that content. Maybe we do a couple episodes a week, but we're going to crawl before we walk and walk before we run on this show. And we'll just see where it goes. I want to kind of listen to my audience and see where the audience grows and see what the audience likes and what resonates with them. And then also what maybe there is a miss. I'm okay with that. It's okay to miss and it's okay to fail. And that's one thing I learned in 25 years in the business world. If you're not failing, you're not trying enough new things. So that's something that I hold near and dear to my heart. And I've learned that lesson. One of the founders of Pizza Hut was the chairman of the board of a company I used to work with about 15 years ago now. And one of his big things was to make sure you get people all pulling the rope in the same direction and get a little bit of skin in the game. It makes people much more focused on the mission at hand and the goals. And for me, that means in a podcast environment, that means listening to what the audience is saying and seeing what they're responding to, what's resonating with them, and go from there and use that as kind of that North Star, that guiding principle to take the show wherever it leads us. I don't really have a predisposed idea of where this show's going to go, but I think we're going to have a lot of fun, interview some really cool people. Hopefully you guys enjoy some of those conversations along the way. And again, make sure you subscribe to Three Dogs and a Dude so you don't miss out on that. And that's really all I have for this preview episode. We'll be back soon with episode 1, and we think it'll be something you won't want to miss. Until then, go out to wherever you get podcasts. Make sure you hit subscribe on Three Dogs and a Dude. And for Lolo, Bella, and Pepper, known as the Three Dogs, this is their dude signing out. Everybody have a great day. Bye.
1, 2, 3.
Funky beat. Hip hop.